A leaked internal document from the Department of Homeland Security reveals the unraveling loyalty at the heart of presidential protection. On January 20th, 2026, at precisely 3:42 p.m. Eastern Time, the acting director of the United States Secret Service tendered her resignation to the Homeland Security Secretary, marking a seismic shift in the agency's operations. With 3 decades of service, she stepped away citing profound disagreements with directives from President Trump that she deemed unlawful and beyond the agency's remit. This isn't merely a high-level departure, it's the tip of a fracturing iceberg, where veteran agents are quietly seeking reassignments from the president's inner security circle, and hushed debates echo through headquarters corridors about the boundaries of duty. Insiders, granted anonymity by major outlets like The Washington Post and CNN, paint a picture of plummeting morale and ethical turmoil. Agents face orders to impede state police from carrying out valid judicial mandates, to bar sheriffs from Trump-owned sites, forcing a wrenching choice between safeguarding the leader and honoring constitutional vows. Months of simmering friction exploded amid New York's aggressive pursuit of asset forfeitures, pushing the elite guardians, trained to shield the president at all costs, into uncharted moral territory. These professionals aren't equipped or willing to morph into enforcers for private legal battles against state authorities. The president's inner shield is eroding, command structures wobble, and vulnerabilities emerge that could expose him to real peril if defections accelerate. This uprising stems from persistent pressure to redraw lines no career officer will breach, framing state enforcers as adversaries and elevating federal safeguards above local justice. The Secret Service morphs from neutral protector to politicized tool, prompting a resounding rejection from the ranks. History lacks precedent for a leader's core defenders rebelling en masse. America stands on the precipice of witnessing it unfold. Delving deeper into the spark, the standoff ignited on January 12th, when New York's Attorney General notified the agency of impending inspections at Trump Tower for a mandated asset catalog under receivership. Since inauguration, the Secret Service fortified the skyscraper into an impregnable bastion, dominating access points, screening all entrants, and embedding sensitive federal tech across floors. Beyond a personal dwelling, it doubles as auxiliary presidential headquarters. When sheriffs signaled their approach to enforce the order, fury erupted in the Oval Office. Trump summoned the acting director, insisting agents physically repel the intruders, claiming the site's federal status via his residency and presidential security umbrella extending to assets. She countered firmly. The agency's role shields the individual, not commercial holdings, and no statute empowers blocking court-sanctioned state actions in non-security zones. Undeterred, he pressed for creative justifications, national security pretexts, risks to classified gear, blanket restricted area declarations. Her refusal was absolute, warning of illegality, and clashing with agents' constitutional allegiance over personal fealty, threatening her exit if pushed. A brief retreat followed, but evasion tactics ensued. Trump bypassed her, approaching detail members one-on-one, probing their readiness to bar doors and testing allegiance against protocol. Perturbed responses flowed upward. Some sought immediate removal from duty. By January 16th, apprised of the circumvention, she confronted him in a stormy session. She decried the sabotage of agency cohesion, the untenable binds on personnel, foreseeing shattered effectiveness. His retort lashed out, branding her and peers as deep state holdouts unfit for prioritizing his imperatives. Stalemate prevailed. The weekend at Mar-a-Lago intensified shadows. In a covert huddle with ex-military confidants and retired enforcers, civilian allies in his orbit, he floated assembling a supplemental private guard via corporate funds or donor infusions. This cadre would fortify properties against takedowns, offering unfiltered control, absent bureaucratic reins. Whispers of the scheme reached leadership, igniting outrage at the notion of presidential praetorians supplanting official apparatus, evoking perils of unaccountable might. That Tuesday, resignation materialized, her account to the secretary underscoring inability to serve amid deliberate subversion and paramilitary fantasies. Instant acceptance ensued. Leak followed swiftly. Far beyond administrative churn, it broadcasts terminal rift with enforcement pillars. Echoes resound elsewhere. FBI head, a Trump pick, rebuffs probes into adversaries like the AG and judiciary, insisting evidence Trump's edicts. Resignation looms over politicization bids. Justice Department navigates loyalty versus autonomy, greenlighting slim filings but spurning full-throttle litigation service. Prosecutors seethe at mission perversion, polishing escapes. Homeland Security writhes, successor choice a minefield. Loyalist invites agent flight. Independent invites presidential ire. Government-wide, professionals confront obey or defy crossroads, leaks burgeon, governance frays. Operationally, leadership vacuum imperils safeguards. Roughly 3,200 agents and only 300 officers staff the force. Presidential unit at 300 peak performers now fatigued and torn. Her void strips strategic wisdom. Deputy eyes door 2. Protocols sustain basics, but foresight, interagency sync, esprit suffer. Mass exits amplify gaps. Recruitment lags with vetting marathons. Thinning lines heighten exposures. Trump's contractor pivot alarms. Unregulated hires lack badges, arrest powers, jurisdiction claims. Property standoffs invite arrests, suits, anarchy. Oaths bind feds to law. Paychecks tie mercenaries to payer, birthing rogue hierarchies redolent of dictatorships. Security circles fret escalations to intimidation, disruptions, precedents mirroring dark epochs. Local ties strain too. Travel pacts falter if viewed as tainted, stripping full perimeters amid hostilities. Apolitical sheen tarnishes irreparably. Legally, privatized defenses tread forbidden ground. Executive sway over troops halts at mercenaries. Accountability voids loom. Who oversees, authorizes, indemnifies violations. Blocking sheriffs equates obstruction. Presidential nudge implicates. Post-tenure liability beckons. In-office impeachables surface. Judiciary panels mull probes into coercion. Time buys delay for seizures. Contractors risk indictments sans shields. Courts dissect directive immunities, likely nil, spawning sagas. Precedent poisons. Successive leaders spawn shadows, eroding separations, birthing strongman tools founders abhorred. Section 2. Psychologically, this saga unveils a commander gripped by siege mentality, far eclipsing prior provocations. Envisioning bespoke enforcers signals desperation, not dominance. Hallmarks of encircled figures who populate foes in every shadow, erode faith in bulwarks, crave fealty transcending procedure. Experts charting despotic drifts spotlight the cycle. Adversity breeds institutional scorn, mandates obeisance, spawns surrogates unbound by precedent when rebuffs mount. Trump embodies it starkly. Secret Service balks. FBI demurs on vendettas. Justice shuns barrister role. So countermeasures bloom. Freelance shields, extra-governmental counselors, echo chamber amplifiers peddling fictions. Decline's death spiral accelerates peril as unchecked impulses flourish sans restraints. Once, counselors tempered excesses, frameworks hemmed drifts. Now, voids prevail, departures cool moderates, holdouts echo refusals, sycophants stoke flames. Unfettered, extremes beckon, property skirmishes, emergencies fabricated for edicts, tenure entrenchments defying verdicts. Protector schism forewarns finale. Even oath-bound stalwarts recoil. Trajectory veers toward abyss. Operational fissures compound. Detail erosion mandates reallocations, straining responses. Morale craters invite lapses. Contractor infusions inject volatility. Unvetted arms clash unpredictably. Loyalties pivot with ledgers. Intercepts falter sans rapport. Exposures multiply on circuits viewing hosts askance. National security whispers dread exploitation by observers scenting frailties. Rhetorical barrages prelude maneuvers. Branding dissent treasonous. Broader canvas reveals governance implosion. Edicts rebound, apparatus rigidifies. Fiscal drains from litanies mount. Allies waver amid optics. Congressional scrutiny sharpens. Oversight summons loom. Inquisitions probe coercions. Impeachment murmurs swell if obstructions crystallize. Electorate fractures deepen, midterms menace. Trump's fortress mindset isolates further, blind to tides. Yet resistance embodies resilience. Professionals reclaim mandates, leaks illuminate shadows, precedent steel spines. Private vanguard prototypes peril. Funding opacity invites probes. Armament escalations tempt tragedy. If deployed, optics ignite infernos, media mobs, viral frays, institutional backlash. Courts intervene swiftly, injunctions halt expansions. History cautions. Such ventures crumble under scrutiny, birthing scandals, eclipsing origins. Trump's calculus gambles, chaos yields concessions, but backlash snowballs. Allies distance, donors hesitate, base splinters on realities. Psychological toll tells, isolation breeds rashness, paranoia paralyzes prudence. Advisors' exodus leaves echo voids, miscalculations compound. Presidency's husk persists, pulpit, veto, pardons, but essence eviscerates sans trust. Democratic sinews strain yet hold, checks activate. Secret Service stand, signals dominoes. FBI fortifies, justice indurates, military observes warily. Trump's personalization poisons wells, oaths endure impersonal. Private army mirage shimmers fragile, recruits question perils, logistics lag, exposures abound. If mobilized, initial bravado yields quandaries, arrests cascade, lawsuits avalanche, morale mirrors agencies. Escalation calculus tilts adverse, gains ephemeral, costs cataclysmic. Broader psyops unfold, surrogate seed narratives, media wars rage, public pulses polarize. Trump's defiance steals opposition, galvanizing probes. Endgame contours sharpen, acquiescence unlikely, confrontation courses. Institutions' fortitude tested, Trump's tenacity torments. Key beacons merit vigilant gaze as tempests brew swiftly. Prime, successor selection. Political novice signals puppetry, career ascension, hints restraint lingers. Appointee vetting unveils intents, loyalty oaths or integrity pledges. Mass departures track next. Detailed drain signals collapse. Press dispatches chronicle protests. Leaks inevitable despite veils. Private deployments crystallize crux. If branded guards materialize at bastions, chronicle meticulously. Evidentiary gold for tribunals. Confrontations catalyze crises. Sheriff advances repelled spark arrests. Suits, bedlam, laws front lines ignite. Agent voices amplify alarms. Public testimonies shatter silences. Op-eds indict imperatives. Disciplined ranks breach betokens gravity eclipsing careers. Capital stirrings mobilize. Oversight panels convene. Subpoenas snare ex-leaders. Coercions cartographed. Transnational tremors register. Adversaries assay weaknesses. Alerts spike around perimeters. Rhetoric radars blare. Service smears, prelude purges. Mercenary paeans portend parallels. Escalations enumerate. Emergency invocations, martial feints, procedural blockades. Chaos choreography demands documentation. Footage fortifies facts. Operational overlays obsess. Travel truncations, detailed dilutions, contingency cracks. Fiscal footprints follow. Donor diversions, fuel freelances, audits assail. Judicial jolts jar. Injunction bids, contempt citations, obstruction odysseys. Impeachment incubates if patterns persist. Articles articulate assaults. Midterm maneuvers matter. Safe seats sour. Flips forecast. Base barometers break. Rallies recede. Defections divulge disillusion. Media maelstroms multiply. Viral vignettes vilify vanguard. Counter-narratives contest. International intimations intrigue. Allies admonish. Foes faint. Economic aftershocks accrue. Markets mistrust militias. Bonds buckle. Trump's timeline tightens. Seizure schedules sprint. Delays dwindle. Counterplays crystallize. States stiffen. Feds fracture. Watch windows widen. 72 hours herald heat. Appointee announcement arcs agency fate. Deployment dawn dictates dangers. Clash cascades confirm collisions. Voices validate voids. Capital calls catalyze consequences. Rhetoric reveals resolve. Track tenaciously, stakes stratospheric. Patterns presage. Defiance defines, but dams burst. Institutions innervate. Trump's isolation intensifies. Private prototypes perish publicly. Democratic diagnostics deemed dire yet defensible. Escalation engines engage, brace boldly. Secret Service schism symbolizes systemic seizure. Guardians gambit guts governance. Trump's fealty fetish founders. Loyalty reciprocity requires rectitude, institutional reverence, legal fealty. Abuses accrue arrears. Agents' exodus affirms allegiances. Constitutional constancy over caprice. Pattern permeates. Professionals prioritize patria, spurning personalism. Legitimacy lacerates, courts contravene, party palpitates, populace pivots. Residue, rump retainers, ragtag retainers, residual regalia. Volatility vaults, formal facades, facade fragilities. Response rubric rigidifies, backpedal improbable, belligerence beckons. History heuristics. Highlight, escalators eclipse equilibria. Institutions interdict, collisions consummate. Vanguard visions vaporize under verdict. Democracy's diagnostics, resilient yet riven. Stakes sublime, denouement dawns. Trump's tenure teeters, tempests test. Fidelity's finale favors frameworks. Epic's epigraph. Oaths out-endure one-man reigns. Crisis crests, contours clarify, resistance reigns.